Okay, somehow it started with just him laughing. Okay. I'm going to start this off. Happy New Year by now, by the time you see it.
Happy New Year.
It'll be a new year. I'm going to torture people. Rum shot of peppermint bark. And we're going to watch part 3. Santa loves my wife more because she got that. But she doesn't collect movies, so she wasn't appreciative. But, how was your Christmas?
Good.
Yes, you get everything you wanted? Get more?
Yeah.
What you get? Anything?
Spoiled.
If I can ask.
My wife and my parents and my grandmother all pitched in on a PlayStation 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's. You inviting me over for any gaming? You got games?
I have one game right now.
What you got?
Game of War. God of War.
God of War.
Ragnarok. Yeah.
Oh, definitely smell the peppermint.
This isn't what we had last time, was
No,
it?
this is rum shata, which is it's like the cojito.
Oh, okay.
It's rum shata. There's a horse shata, which is a non-alcoholic, and rum shata is one with rum.
Okay. That's not bad.
That is really good. We'll have to share. Then I was going to bring to him Springfest Pale Ale from Yellowhammer Brewing out of Huntsville, Alabama. It is a 5.7%.
Wait, hold on. Let me say this real quick. Carl. Yellowhammer. It's like a banana.
Carl? You think he's a Carl right now?
Carl. Kevin.
Kermit.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh, Kyle Nobi. Obi-Wan Kyle Nobi. And
Lando Carl Rissian.
Yeah, Lando Carl Rissian. There you go.
Our number one fan.
Yes.
You need to drink some beer with us in the new year.
He said he couldn't tonight.
I didn't say tonight, in the new year. That could be his new year thing that he actually takes the leash off.
He had a legitimate reason.
Oh, okay.
This weekend. His dogs don't like fireworks, and he said he was worried.
That sucks. Yeah. Animals get tortured. Yeah, animals get tortured by that.
Yeah.
It's a pale ale, so
it smells like dish soap.
That's different. It's a light. I don't know.
Yeah,
light. It's not an IPA. It's a pale ale.
Oof.
But.
Oof.
Yeah, I was just showing him, my wife and my son, they got me 2 different Ralph Bakshi movies. One being Coonskin, one being Cool World. He's an adult animator. You haven't seen Fritz the Cat. It's probably before your time.
What?
Fritz the Cat.
No.
But he's in like 7 or 8 different movies through his years. I think Cool World was the last one he did because the studios kind of screwed him. Then they spoiled me with Doctor Who. They gave me the Christopher Eccleston, Matt Smith, David Tennant, all 3 of theirs, so we could sit there and watch them with and what's his name? Before Jodie. Peter Capaldi. If you heard that.
The Rockin' Doctor.
Yes. Surprisingly, one of my favorites, and the one that my son grew up with. So I got to introduce him to the rest of the doctors. Got a comic book. Got some shirts. Got some more movies. Got Kill Bill 1 and 2. I can watch them. My mother-in-law bought me the Blu-ray DVD of 1 and 2 together.
It's a miracle. Brought down on from on high.
And then she got me Krypton, the series, so I can show Zane that.
Yeah.
PS5, that's nice though.
I was happy with it. They got me though. They wrapped it like 5 or 6 times, but
that's it. They didn't do it. See, like one of the first Christmases that me and my wife had together when we were just dating, I got this big box. I don't know if it was I think it was a fridge box or something like that. It's a big box. And I put all their gifts in there, and I filled it full of newspaper. And I put the little gifts in there, and I numbered them. And my rule was you can't open any of them until you get to number 1. You know, you can pull out one and that's it.
Yeah.
But you can't open it until you get to the first one. It like took forever. And of course you put the number 1 on bottom then because it's a big box.
Yeah.
But hopefully you had a good Christmas. Anything to report, or is this just to have a drink and relax and we'll watch Clerks 3?
We'll do that, and then we'll come back when we've got a few things.
Okay. Right. Now, I'm going to let Spencer do a little introduction here. These are 2 of them he's brought over here.
So, number 1 is beer recommended to me by one of my coworkers, Quentin.
Quentin!
La Fin du Monde. The end of the world. And then something I picked up on my travels.
Now, one of your friends requested you get 2 bottles of this for them or something?
Yes. And we decided to get one for ourselves to try it out. We talked about last episode some BBD. Big black dick.
So, I guess he's going to serve us up some in a glass.
The Big Black Dick is a vanilla rum, and the Fin du Monde is a beer. So, let's see what we can't get into.
And we're, like I said, we're watching Clerks 3 right now. If you are into the Kevin Smith Askew universe, you know what Clerks 3 is about, basically. Of course, always following Dante and Randall. And I've decided tonight that I think he's Dante, and I think I'm
supposed to be here today.
I think I'm Randall because I'm just the antagonizer. But if you don't know what it's about, of course, it is available now at the store. You can buy it, which I did. I have to always support Kevin Smith. Some people might think he's ridiculous, but I love it. I love how he writes his stories.
Man can write some dialogue.
Yes. Of course, it's about Randall having a heart attack and dealing with that. Of course, I think it's loosely based on Kevin and his dealings with his heart attack and everything he's changed in his life. Interesting. So, what do you want to try first? The BBD?
Yeah, let's do some BBD.
BBD. It's a vanilla rum from the Caribbean. You got this from which island or which?
Grand Cayman Island.
The Grand Cayman?
Yeah. Now, I don't know if it's actually made on Grand Cayman, but we just bought it there. It's made in Cayman Islands.
Say, all the islands are good for sugar, and rum is made from sugar.
Let's see.
Smells good.
Oh.
I can see why people like the BBD.
Yes.
Wow, that's easy to drink.
It is.
That's like a flavor. It's not just rum, but that's smooth. So we recommend that you go on the Caymans, you get some BBD.
Yeah, get you some BBD.
Yeah, get all the BBD you can carry.
My wife specifically went to Grand Cayman Island to get her three big black dicks. So
3.
3.
And you're okay with it.
I mean, a good husband knows when he's not good enough.
Right? Whatever she wants to put in her mouth, you know. La Fin du Monde.
That's good.
And Quentin recommends it. That is smooth. I've tried 1 or 2 different unibrow. What's the percentage on this? It's a triple
9%.
9%. That is nice and smooth for 9%.
Yeah.
That's gonna kick some butt. But we'll check back with you as you go through Clerks 3.
Yeah.
We might cry a little.
Yeah.
Has to pose for the camera before I start. Yeah, he's got the lean. Just finished Clerks 3. Was not expecting that ending.
No. Which, I don't know. I'm going to spoil it for anybody.
I don't want to spoil. I'm not going to spoil it.
No.
If you want to, you can write an email or something.
Yeah.
Or you just go freaking see it. Buy physical media. Like Kevin says at the beginning of the DVD, buy physical media. This is the BBD with some root beer.
Yeah.
It was his idea, so. Wow. That was kind of emotional at the end of Clerks 3.
Yeah, it was.
But once again, excellent writing job of freaking dialogue by Kevin.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that ending. But if you like the whole VSQ, universe with Clerks 1, 2, and then Silent Bob and everything, what?
So I don't remember the studio he was talking about. It wasn't Lionsgate.
Okay.
But I was watching it was Kevin Smith. He was giving a little talk. It was a very small one because the stage was probably like the size of your kitchen.
Oh,
yay! It was very small. I'm not.
No.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
You think I have a small stage? That's okay.
No, but somebody asked him about the next movies that he wants to do, and he was going into detail about the next 5.
Oh, really? He was thinking that far ahead again?
Yes.
Well, something's gone in him.
Yes. The next big one he wants to do is Mallrats 2.
Yeah, you were telling me that last episode we were talking about Mallrats. Because there's been talks of a Mallrats 2, and there've been talks of a Mallrats TV show.
Yeah.
Over
and
the years.
The studio he was talking about was like, well, he went to whoever owns the rights to it, and they're like, well, what you're wanting to do is, we would send you to this portion of our studio, and the budget's only
$5
or
million.
7.
That's what you said,
$5
and with
million.
COVID, it was like over.
Yeah, and so he goes back to this other studio, and they were like, hey, you're making us money. What do you want to do? And he was like, well, I want to do Mallrats. And they're like, cool. We work with them all the time.
Yeah.
Let us, do some talking. So you had that. There was the, what'd you say, Moose Knuckles?
Moose Knuckles.
Yeah, Moose Knuckles, which is supposed to be like Jaws, but with a moose.
It was the end of the Northwest trilogy with Yoga Hosers and Tusk.
Those were the only 2 I saw.
Okay.
I didn't get into detail in the other 3, but I was very surprised. Like you were, he was like in the next 5 movies, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's excellent because Kevin. I think he's the problem that always hurts though is people expect a lot once you get big, and I think with the success of his movies, it got bigger. Chasing Amy was big. Dogma was even bigger. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. It was kind of that was that, and then it's been kind of and that's not his fault. He tried to change his ways with different styles, and he's come back now to the USQ universe.
Yeah. I will say, don't get me wrong, I love Clerks. I love the whole, Jay and Silent Bob, the whole USQ universe. But my favorite Kevin Smith movie is Red State.
Red State is an excellent
yes.
movie. It's so underrated.
Yes.
Because it's not Kevin Smith, as you know.
Yeah.
See, in the universe of USQ, Dogma's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But I will go with you with Red State. Red State was totally something different for Kevin.
Yeah.
And it was very good.
I loved watching because he was doing another talk, and he was talking about how he wrote it. And he said he would write to a certain point. He would email the script to his buddy. It wasn't Jason Mewes, it was somebody else. But he emailed it to his buddy, and told his buddy, he said, okay, I want you to read the script.
Was it Scott?
I don't know.
Okay.
But he was like, read the script, tell me what happens next. He was like, you've seen a bunch of movies, tell me what happens next. And his buddy would go, I think this is what happens next. And he would go the complete opposite direction from what his buddy would say, just to kind of give you, like...
So you wouldn't be expecting
Yes, you'd be watching going, oh...
Because there's so many movies you can do that. You can predict what's going to happen. Yeah. We are still finishing up the bottle of La Fin du Monde.
It's actually...
It's now officially closed.
Yes.
Yeah, that was not... That's a great end for Clerks 3, but I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
I think, at the beginning... I don't know, the beginning was a little slow.
Yeah.
But I think it reached a point in the second and the third acts where freaking...
Yeah.
Trey kissed the ship.
Yeah.
It was Kevin and his best writing.
I just, where do you go from there?
You have to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets funding for Mallrats, or he takes it something different, and he doesn't just walk away, because I think he's still got a lot left in there.
So...
Out of the shadow of the Weinsteins, and I would love it if someone would just let him, who would buy back freaking Dogma rights for him.
I was going to say, if somebody would do that for him, or if he would get the money together,
Yeah.
and do that, there could be a continuation off of that in a next Dogma.
We don't need an ex-Dogma, though. I just want him to have the rights. You know, to me, it's kind of crappy when you come up with these great original ideas as a director/writer, and you don't have the rights to them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like comic book writers and artists have come with this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is they put out this with MCU becoming big, and people question like, well, how much did the
Yeah.
you know, like Hawkeye, all the posters and stuff, and people were like, did the artist get paid for this? Because this is from the Hawkeye comic book, and it's the same thing, you know. When you originate this,
So M. Night Shyamalan's actually dealing with that right now.
yeah.
His next movie coming out, the
Knock on the cabin, but that's not his story. Though.
It's not his story, and that's the problem. Is the posters don't credit the writer of the original story.
Really?
And he's there. I don't know if they're actually moving forward with it, but there's talk of a lawsuit.
Ooh.
So,
and I've heard it's got good reviews before even coming out.
I'm a fan of his. He's
Yeah.
had some really good hits. He's had some misses. I mean,
It happens.
not everybody can
That's
be
the whole
perfect.
thing.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. You have people to deal with, big egos in some actors.
And then I will say, some of the misses, everybody dogs on him, like The Happening.
Yeah, I like The Happening.
It was
in the time.
It was
liked
it was decent, but if you go back, if you
It's
don't
not
like the
rewatchable.
story, if you don't like the story, there are some really really good put together scenes, like the dude killing himself with a lawnmower.
Yeah.
Those are really well put together, and just going back to watch it for that.
Well, that's a lot of his. A lot of people didn't like M. Night Shyamalan. Sorry, we're leaving Kevin Smith
Yeah.
going to M. Night. The Village. People had issues with The Village.
I love The Village.
People had issues with Lady in the Water, and it's like they want to tear everything
Yeah.
down because of his first. They go back to his. Well, your first one was. It's like, dude, you can't concentrate on the same first.
Now, I will say, I have to put this out there.
You're gonna say the Avatar movie.
There is no redemption for Avatar. The Last Airbender, M. Night. Sorry.
Well, they shouldn't have. No offense, they shouldn't have given him that anyway, because of his style did not fit.
Yeah. No.
You know, that's the whole thing to me.
Netflix is moving forward with an
Yeah.
adaptation of it. Hopefully they can pull it off, but sorry, Mr. Shyamalan. Didn't work.
And that's okay though.
Yeah, like I said, everybody's going to have their hits and misses. I mean, everybody has that in life.
Yeah.
Have your hit and misses. But sometimes things are unforgivable. Like Avatar: The Last Airbender, the movie.
The movie. And he walks off. All right, he's bringing Benny on the set. Benny on the set. All right.
Master General.
He is very fluffy. Some clear and spirited. Eyes GC's Reserva Belgian Christmas Ale. Bourbon barrel aged. From 2014?
Vintage.
It is a 10% alcohol.
I mean, hell, if it's aged in a barrel for...
Yeah. 8 years till I got it.
9?
Yeah, it depends on when they
Almost
bottled it.
9, yeah. Do a little drink plus math.
Leave me alone.
Drip, drip, drop.
Drip, drip, drop. 8-year-old bourbon barrel aged. It's got a little discoloration there.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of worried. Did I buy some skunk beer?
Remember me.
Oh, that's strong. It's definitely that's a problem. When you have a nice smooth 9%, you get a 10%. Oh, it's not vinegary though.
Mm-mm. It's definitely not like the...
It's not gone bad.
yeah, those beers I brought over.
We still have 4. Yeah. I'm scared.
You know what I hear? We have 4 beers that need to be drank. that are
We need Kyle over here.
ancient. We need Kyle.
Yeah, he needs to do the ancient section. We've done our share.
Yes, we need to raise the Kyle signal.
The Kylometer.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our only hope.
One day I'll meet this Kyle person. I think he's fictional. I don't think he actually exists.
The company I work for is holding a banquet of sorts.
Banquet.
And
Used to be in December, but they thought, oh, we can't associate with Christmas.
so they moved it, but we canceled it due to the COVIDs. But now we're reinstating it, and Kyle, Carl, Kevin, Kermit, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Lando Calrissian will be there.
Or as my wife likes to call him, Carl!
Carl! We only do this because we like you, Carl.
I've never met you, but I'm beginning to wonder if you exist.
We can't wait to hang out with you and drink and meet your wife. What?
Well, I was waiting for the crickets because I don't know if he exists, and then you were throwing another person that may not exist. So
he did say that it is a very good possibility that one or both of them will be schnockered before they get there.
Well, it'll be interesting. We'll see.
We can go all drink together to the stylings of DJ Zorn.
DJ Zorn. No, he's not even doing it anymore. It's his son, isn't it?
Oh, maybe DJ Zordon.
Zordon. DJ Zorn the second.
He's got to call in the Power Rangers to drop them beats.
Oh, you got to drop a glass to the fallen Ranger.
Yes, that was actually.
Did you get to meet him before he passed?
I did not.
I know you were talked about it.
I wanted to meet him. I didn't get to meet him. But that was a blow to my childhood. Mr. Franks.
It's been a weird year.
Frank.
With people passing away celebrity-wise, it really has.
Yeah. Barbara Walters just died too.
And on the headlines, Barbara Walters, on the eve of New Year's Eve, Barbara Walters just passed.
Wow. That's...
I didn't know she was still alive. They said Pele died, and I was like, I thought Pele died years ago, and I was like, what?
No, that was the Pele effect.
No, it might be the Pele effect.
No, Tababa Wawa.
Baba Wawa? Mm-hmm. So we've lost Betty White last year, and now Baba Wawa?
Wow. So we were talking earlier.
This evening on 2020.
Yes. They're talking about rebooting Harry Potter.
Yeah, which is awful. It's a fucking awful idea. Universal, get your head straight. You have so many other stories you can branch off of it that people love. That's what I was going to say.
There is so many options.
You could go off of Hermione. You can go off of that. You've got Harry's story. You can go off of other people's stories.
The dude grew up, became a wizard police officer, or to hunt down the dark wizards. You could make so many movies off of that.
Yeah, you got Fantastic Beasts, which has not been great, but it's had its shining moments because it's telling you stories of...
See, here's the thing. It's taking Warner Brothers, game division.
Yeah.
To make an original story.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like the animated
Hogwarts Warner Brothers Legacy. Yeah.
The animated Warner Brothers movies was the best thing about the DCU. It's like everyone else has got their shit together.
Yes.
But the regular movie division is like, wait a second.
Now, here's a question I have for you.
Uh-oh.
Would you say that with the amount of CGI in the movie, that the Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds was animated?
Pretty close. But this is the whole thing. Have you seen Black Adam yet?
Not yet.
Still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
See if you get the Green Lantern effect from the Black Adam.
Okay.
Because it's not a bad movie. Neither one of them are bad movies, but it's like you start in the middle of a story and you don't get a full thing. Like Black Adam is like he's a villain, and all these people are talking trash about The Rock, and I don't think Rock's a bad person. And I know he had the love for this, but it's just like, and he has a love for the DCU, and he's trying where other people aren't trying, and that's what sucks.
I think it's complete garbage. Like,
what's complete garbage?
Hold on, James Gunn.
Okay.
He's got a plan.
Yeah, somebody has to have a plan.
But I think it's complete garbage that you have fans who are like, we want Henry Cavill as Superman.
Yeah.
He did a phenomenal job. We want him as Superman. And like,
we've only had one actual standalone movie.
Yeah. We have new guy comes in, new boss, and he's like, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. Some movie that nobody's talking about, we're going to keep doing that one.
Which one is that?
Blue Beetle?
Yes.
Golly.
Because it's already cast. That's the whole thing is, oh, well, we've already got a cast. You were 90% done with Batgirl. If you're going to show that power, you should be like, hey, we finishing this. We at least getting some money out of it.
Warner Brothers. Hire us.
I mean, come on. This is the whole thing. You've done this. And I'm no disrespect to James. You can't halfway follow one. This is the whole thing.
Yeah.
You're going to sit there and say, Patty Jenkins dropped out of Wonder Woman 3, and that's the truth. She dropped out because they didn't like the direction she was going. She wasn't fired. Some people cited she was fired. She's like, I wasn't fired. They didn't like my direction. And they supposedly submitted saying, hey, then just give us a different, give it. And she hasn't ever replied to that. I don't know the whole thing. But they're still continuing with The Flash. I think The Flash is going to be the end of it. And that's not a bad way if you think about it. The Flash with Flashpoint, if they put Flashpoint, it brings everything into a big old crossroads.
You listening, Carl?
Which you can stem every other direction and save the Snyderverse. You can save the Keatonverse. You can save everything.
Here's what really ticks me off. I don't know if you ever watched it or not. Batman Beyond?
I've watched parts of it.
So they were going to make a Batman Beyond movie.
Mm-hmm.
And in it, Michael Keaton was going to play old Bruce Wayne.
Which would be awesome.
That'd be great. But he walked in and canceled it, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
And like I'll say to you, and I'll let you borrow if you want to see it. Have you seen Birdman?
No.
You need to watch Birdman. It is a brilliant freaking movie that shows Keaton at some of his greatest stuff. And it's a play, in my opinion, on what he dealt with Batman.
I gotta say, Keaton's a great actor.
Oh, hell yeah.
Have you ever watched The Founder?
I have not seen The Founder. I've heard that it was some great stuff.
That
I watched a
was-
lot of his stuff in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And then he dropped off the map.
Yeah.
I mean, Pacific Heights is a fantastic movie.
Never seen it. Don't even know what it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Pacific Heights is... I think it was Michael and his wife they subletted in a room in their house. I don't remember if he was the husband or if he was the other person who rented. But anyway, they couldn't get him out because of California laws.
Yeah.
And they played on that. It was a fucking awesome movie.
Add it to my list while we're on here.
I have to pull Birdman out so you can take it when you go home. Because she can watch it too. Katie will. I think Katie would like it.
Okay.
It's just a totally bizarre but intense movie.
Added to the list.
There you go.
Let's see. What else have I seen? Supposedly Henry Cavill is in
Warhammer 40K.
Yes. Which
on Amazon.
I haven't played the game.
Oh, I used to play it. I can't wait.
I've delved into a little bit of the lore, just reading about it, and it's super interesting.
It's like D&D in the future.
Yeah,
because
it's really weird. It's like they travel between stars by going through a dimension of hell.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
which goes on Event Horizon if you haven't seen Event Horizon.
Yeah. It's super interesting. I can't wait to see that.
But like I used to always play the Elven race, which was a futuristic elves.
He's actually in final talks, I guess, to play Captain Britain in Captain America: New World Order.
That's interesting because I thought he was in talks to play Sentry.
Here's something else.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw this or not. Supposedly, so I just watched Eternals today. So
For the first time?
for the first
I
time,
need to watch it a second time.
Tiamat Island
Okay.
supposedly is going to be in Thunderbolts,
Okay.
and in Thunderbolts, supposedly,
Sorry, I got to sneak a drink of this in real quick because this is really good.
supposedly, Harrison Ford, of course, is taking over Thunderbolt Ross.
Yes. Yes or no for you?
Sure. Thunderbolt Ross. But in this movie, he will be President Thunderbolt Ross. But Tiamat Island will be in there and will be the source of adamantium.
No, that'll be interesting.
For the
with Wakanda
MCU.
being vibranium.
Yes. It will also appear in, again, supposedly, in Captain America New World Order. And will be renamed.
Okay.
What's the name of the island? It's the island that all the mutants flock to. Not Krakoa, but the other one.
Isn't that the one that was in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier? They went to. Starts with a G or something.
Genosha.
Genosha.
Yeah. Supposedly that's going to be the spot where all the mutants flock to.
That makes sense.
Yes. So that's if that's all true. Like I said, it's all supposedly. That's pretty interesting.
I think Captain America: New World Order is going to be a fantastic freaking movie.
Chris Evans
Yes.
is coming back to the MCU, but he'll be in Deadpool 3 supposedly as Human Torch. So here's where this is all.
This is going to cross the universes then.
Yeah, this is all rumor, but apparently in Deadpool 3, Deadpool is going to be using the time traveling watch dealie from Cable in the second one. He'll go back in time.
Is Cable going to be in the Deadpool 3?
Supposedly he is, but he's going to go back in time to save Wolverine. There's going to be some sort of shenanigans there.
Shenanigans.
Because they said that
it's not going to affect the...
Logan is dead.
Yes, we know that.
Yes. But supposedly...
In all the comic books, Logan is the end result of any Wolverine story.
Yes. So, that stays that, but he's going to, I guess, go get a previous version of Wolverine. The shenanigans...
A variant.
Yes.
Because we've been introduced to variants.
And the shenanigans that ensue after he does this will lead to the TVA getting involved. They have already got the girl that played Rogue in the first X-Men movie.
Okay.
They got her signed to come back as Rogue.
Rogue. Okay. What's her name? Who's from True Blood?
Yes. Suki.
Suki Stackhouse.
I
thought what's his name was coming into the Deadpool. I heard Owen Wilson was coming in as a TVA agent.
Yeah.
Who's supposed to be in that? So that makes a lot of
Loki
sense.
is going to be in there.
Yeah, that kind of makes a lot of sense if he's jumping through time like that.
It's gonna be that I can't wait for. That one I'm like, if they get everything that they're wanting to get done and it works, I'm good for it.
It's all going to be like this. What, Iger came back to Disney though, or whoever was at Disney when he just came back, and it's like, oh god, I hope he doesn't throw a fucking monkey wrench in all of this.
I know. So from what I've read so far, I haven't seen anything where he was like he's getting like sticking his hands in movies and TV shows.
But they're trying to erase that phase off of Disney Plus, if you haven't noticed. Which
we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. He seems to be more focused on the parks. Supposedly they're selling ESPN and ABC.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Because that's Disney stock. Little disclaimer: we are not advisors on buying stock, so don't take any advice from us. But Disney stock is at it's like a 20-year low.
But the whole thing is they don't think about this. As stock goes, as it gets to a certain rate, a lot of it divides. Mm-hmm. So is it really at a low, or is it divided and divided?
Well, It's pretty low. Like I've looked at it and gone, maybe I should buy a couple. But
It's not going to hurt if you got the money.
yeah, but
The
that's
whole
neither
thing
here nor
is
there.
you've
but-
seen all their prices in the park have gone up. Their
Well,
parking has gone up.
Yeah.
Everything about Disney has gone up.
So one of the other things that he's been like involved in since he like retook over
Yeah.
was they had an app called Genie Plus,
Yeah.
and it was for like you pay to use the app and you reserve spots in line for the rides or whatever, but it's been screwing people over. Like they go to get in their spot in line and they're like, your name's not on the list, and they're like, well, we paid to be, and they're like, well, we're not showing it, so we can't help you.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where his mighty grasp.
The whole thing is, I don't think this is the problem. I think just an honest man who's poor opinion. They look at the overall thing like, oh, well, we've lost this much. Well, yeah, you've also raised your prices this much.
Yeah.
And so less people are going to come. To me, rich people panic and they raise prices.
Yeah.
And poor people panic and they stop buying.
Yeah.
Because things go up. To me, if you want people, honest man's opinion, honest poor man's opinion, lower the price.
Yeah.
And it might hurt you for a second, but you're going to get double the number. This is the whole thing.
Yep.
You want somebody to eat 2 corn dogs for $8 or 1 corn dog? You know what I'm saying? For $7. And it's like, lower the price.
Yeah.
You lower the price, more people come, more money.
Yeah.
You get the average person instead of, we don't have a real middle class, so you got to invent one by lowering prices to me. Instead of raising every couple of years, you're like, oh, we're short. Oh, we're going to raise the price of parking. Really? You know, some of us are struggling to pay $20 to park.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Yep. Lower it to $10 to park. Because really, think about the amount of parking that goes on. And you got so much land that doesn't get used. So if you have more people coming in there instead of less, because they can't afford fucking parking, just like hotel rooms.
Just a little tip, folks. I'm just going to throw this out there. This is not a travel blog or anything of the sort. But if you're visiting Disney World, to skip paying for your parking, go to Disney Springs, park there, take the bus. Totally free.
And the bus is free.
Yeah.
And see, everyone's going to see that, and that's like, you know what somebody told me about this? Concerts nowadays.
Yeah.
You know how expensive the concert prices are.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I was told. Buy the cheapest ticket. Whatever the cheapest ticket, it's a nosebleed seat. Go into the concert. Scout out where your good concert seats are. And if you don't have to go through a security guard, pull up StubHub. When you're in there, the closest ticket you see that's not sold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Change your seat. Who's going to argue with you if it's not sold?
Yeah.
Nobody. And a lot of people are doing that, and it's just like, really?
Well, I mean, so it's been quite a while since I've been to my last concert, but one of the things is like here, I don't know if it's everywhere else, but our convention center in Pensacola,
Yeah.
you have like your nosebleed section, and people will go to their seats, wait for the concert to start,
And then just start
they
moving.
kind of move down.
Mhm.
You know, you move to a rail so they can see better, or they move down to the and it's.
And that's the whole thing, and they wait to see if the security people are paying attention.
Yeah, nobody's paying.
But I'm saying if you're using StubHub, you look for the empty ones, but then you know. Who's going to argue with you? Nobody.
Yeah.
Because you're sitting in a seat.
Yeah.
Lower your prices,
Yes.
people. Y'all are rich enough.
And I mean, I get it. I get it's you got to balance out your. There's Disney, for instance, the price of your park admission to how many employees you have working and how much you got to pay them.
And you got to pay a living wage because there's the argument of the wage.
Yeah. And I get that, but at the same time, it's like I do see what you're saying. Like
if you get twice as much volume,
if you take a small hit, like we got to dip into our massive profits a little bit to pay these people so that we can lower prices for more people to come in. You're gonna end up making more in the long run.
Exactly.
So,
that's the whole thing. Long range goals. Just like health insurance. the more people you have as a business, the lower your health costs will be.
I had something explained to me today from an unlikely source, and I got to do some more looking into it. But so I consider myself a libertarian. I used to consider myself a Republican.
I used to.
I consider myself
I'm
a
not
libertarian
anymore.
now, you know.
I
But
don't
I
even
was
know what I am.
watching a video, and it was explaining Medicare for all,
Okay.
basically universal health care. And the way they were explaining it was, because the question was, sounds great, how are we going to pay for it? And the person was like, okay, you stop paying for medical insurance in your paycheck. But we're going to give you a tax in your paycheck at like, say 75% or 65%
Yeah.
of what that cost was to you for your medical insurance.
Okay.
So you're still paying a little bit. You're not paying as much,
Yeah.
but that tax will pay for everybody in the country to have 100% medical insurance. Where you go into a hospital and you don't have to worry about the hospital going, yeah, your insurance covered, $700 of your $5,000 bill, so you still owe us,
Yeah.
$4,000 and some change, And I was like, okay, that makes sense, I'm still going to pay some, because the money's got to come from somewhere. And that unlikely source was somebody that I have deep issues with, but
Well, that's
AOC.
This is the whole thing. If you look into other countries, and people are saying, "Oh, look at this country that has universal health care. Everyone gets it. Look at their tax rate. Their tax rate is more than America."
Yeah.
You look at the state of Florida. The state of Florida, right now, I think it's 6.5% or 7%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You look at Japan. You look at Canada, and theirs is a lot more. Our problem is we've been led to say, "Oh, taxes need to be lowered."
Yeah.
Well, would you be willing to pay more tax if you got health care thrown in?
So that's what the way she explained it, and again, I'm not a fan of hers, but the way she explained it,
That's the way it is.
she was like, you'll pay 65 to 75% of what you're already paying now for health insurance. So in the end, you'll be getting money back.
Yeah.
But in the end, your health care is taken care of. Everybody's health care is taken care of. And I was like, okay, that I understand, but when people come around and they're like, we want to give you everybody a universal basic income and universal health care and this and that, and it's like, well, where's it coming from? And they want to...
They can't explain where
They
it's coming
can't,
from.
yeah. It's like, okay.
That's the whole thing is, in order to get these things, you look at other countries and you see this, you have to pay more tax.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. Everyone can have... See, people think free health care.
Yeah.
It's not free.
Yeah.
If you go to another country, it's not free.
Yeah.
It is paid by somebody who is working.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand. You go to, like, Britain. You go to anybody. The working class, when you work, you are given that. The only problem is, and it's not the only problem, is you have to see it on a schedule they set.
Yeah.
It's like the VA is in America. Your dad deals with the VA.
Oh, yeah.
And it's hard to get an appointment sometimes, or next to impossible to get stuff fixed.
Yeah.
But it's paid for. So you have to deal with that with the private industry and that. That's the thing. We have to come as Americans. We have to go, are we willing to sacrifice a little bit of money for health care?
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And we have to, the living wage has to go up. There's a lot, this is the bad thing though, you think about it, is the small mom and pop businesses. That's who hurts. The little ones who don't have that much of a profit margin. Whereas you have the big ones who have this huge profit margin, they can pay their CEO millions of dollars, which they don't deserve.
Oh, I know. I mean, so here's where I disagree.
Okay.
On that. If the CEO is the owner of the company, the founder of the company, and they have built that company, to me they deserve that. Like, they have built that. That's theirs.
Okay. I'll agree with that if they've built it.
Yes.
But a lot of CEOs
are
not.
But if you hire somebody to come in to run a company and you go, all right, we're going to pay you $450,000 a year, And if we let you go, we're also going to throw in this clause that says
golden parachute.
Yes, we're going to give you X amount of stock and X amount of money for
No.
this amount of time until you can find other. No. If
We're
you're the
hiring you for
owner,
this job.
if you're the owner of a company, you've built it. You own the company. Yes, you deserve that money.
Yeah.
You've built the company. There are people that would disagree and say, "Oh, they've stepped on they've used people as the rungs on a ladder to get to where they're at." They've built the company.
Yeah.
They deserve it, But I do agree. I don't know.
But
the world is tough, man.
This is the whole thing. Is though you can honestly see if an employee comes into a job and they work, and you can tell by the hours, you can tell by the attitude of people around him. We're like, wow, this person really helped me, and that person deserves this, And this is the whole thing. Is it at some point, like in my job, we don't get raises based on how we perform. We don't get performance raises.
Yeah.
So that person who could be doing nothing gets the same amount as I get.
Yeah.
Or sometimes more. And they sit there. And you know how aggravating... And people are like, oh, blah, 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 blah. No, it's not a... If you're actually putting forth effort to help the company, you should be rewarded at some point.
Yeah.
Instead of the managerial points, there's so many people who are managerial people who take one college class. They get a business degree. They really don't have a fucking clue how to run a business.
Yep.
But they've got a degree.
Yep.
That's bullshit.
I know.
Because that person down here who knows how to run it, who not pushes, but they can work with the employees, they're hands-on, they're doing it, that person should be rewarded for what they do.
I don't want to get too deep and involved.
We're getting a little way off subject.
But I will say I deal with that myself. I'm not just... When you have an individual who attended a group setting on particular subjects and in the end is rewarded a piece of paper that they've paid for, and then because of that they earn more money and they feel like they know more than you
when they don't,
that's bullshit.
Yeah,
that's all
you could be the whole thing is, it used to be if you were the employee who was dedicated to the... Now we're learning as an adult, this is the basis. You look in every 3 years you should change your job. That's what they say, every 3 years. And that's like, what?
Yeah.
Well, I've been here for this many years. Yeah, but it's not. They're not seeing this because they take advantage of you.
Yeah.
And that's crap.
Yep. Any
job that does that is like, look at your employees, not just your managerial. Look at your employees, because the people who make a business work are not the people in the upper echelon. It's the lower people.
I have to stop talking in this video.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You can stop talking.
Yes.
And that's the whole thing, is like, because you're not rewarding the people who are doing the work. You're rewarding the people who are taking advantage of the people doing the work. Yeah. And that's, in my opinion, bullshit.
Yes.
And every company looks at certain numbers, but they should look at people.
Yeah.
People are the reason businesses succeed.
Yes.
People are also the reason businesses fail.
Yes.
In our area, I have seen common businesses, Applebee's. I have seen other businesses. I can't even think of the names, but they fail in our area because they hire the wrong people to manage them.
Here's the question, though. Just get add a little hilarity to this.
Okay.
What's your formula, Waffle House? Because you hire some of the jankiest people, but still
they work.
They work and everything
because they don't look at number. Well, they do, but they don't at the same time.
You walk in there and you're like, I want like a scrambled egg, and they're like, no, we're gonna give you what we give you. And it's like, okay, and then you pay, and it's like, well, why?
You had that experience too?
Yeah.
I took my son there. I ordered a sausage patty because I knew he did. I got bacon, and I'm not a Karen, so I just ate my bacon. And I'm like, And I paid for it. I shut my pretty little face, and I'm like, why did I do that?
Because it's Waffle House. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. You walk in there and it's just you
Well, they
give
pay
up
their,
on
from
all.
what I understand, they pay their employees good too, though.
So back onto our normal subject of movies and TV shows.
Lily, I don't think that's yours.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was gonna bring something up. What was I gonna bring up? I'm a little drunk.
No way.
What?
That's because he's been putting his lips on the... That's right.
What was it that I was
Damn,
gonna...
that's good stuff, though. Yes or no, Spencer? Sure. Okay. Keep it a secret. Damn, this is good.
I was gonna bring something up.
Okay.
Oh, I know what I was gonna bring up. Okay.
Don't bring up this.
So you were just saying that you saw Prey.
Yes. Finally saw Prey
Yes.
on Hulu. It was fantastic.
Good movie. Great movie. And I was telling him that supposedly I have to add that to all beginning of all my things. Supposedly
Rumor says.
this rumor has it. Thanks, Miss Adele. That
That's
the
his,
next
right?
one is going to be set in feudal Japan, which
Which would be fantastic.
and apparently that's going to be the new formula from now on. Is warriors throughout history that these
Of why they keep coming back to Earth.
Yes. And I was telling, some of my coworkers, I said, that's great. But we were talking about it, and I said, Spartans.
Okay.
That would be great.
Oh, yeah.
Aztecs.
Aztecs
you've
and
got
Mayans, yes.
yeah, you've got like all these different,
Why did they disappear?
Yes.
Well, they did that, though. Wasn't it Aliens versus Predator, the first one or something? They dealt with the Mayans, I think.
I think so. They built the pyramids.
They were
and
They were used as slave labor or something
Yeah,
like that.
and then it just kind of they went to go fight the xenomorphs,
Yes.
and they blew it. Yeah, but that'd be interesting. I mean, like I said, feudal Japan, Mongolians.
My favorite franchise is Aliens, Predator.
Yeah.
So anything they can do with it and make it interesting, I'm all for.
So apparently, did you ever play StarCraft?
No, I've had a lot of friends who played StarCraft.
Okay.
But
So one of the characters in StarCraft, she was like if I remember correctly, she was some sort of psychic, like special ops,
Alright.
Sniper or whatever. She ends up getting taken over by one of the aliens in the franchise, the Zerg or whatever, and she ends up basically becoming like their queen and ruling over them.
Okay.
Apparently, Aliens is going that route, I guess, in the comics.
Oh,
Excuse me. They've created like a human xenomorph hybrid called the Lady in the Shadows or Lady
I
in the
can't
Dark.
believe it because I saw that like Aliens, like Marvel has taken over. Since,
Yeah.
Which is
So-
funny because Dark Horse had the Aliens right for so long, and there were so good books by Dark Horse.
They actually DC had it for a very short time, and there was actually a comic where Superman was fighting them, and he got zipped in the mouth, and one of them burst out of his chest, and
That's brutal. Did he
Yeah.
survive?
I don't think so. I don't.
I don't know.
I don't remember. I mean, but
They crossed over with Dark Horse because Terminator did that too with some of them.
that would be cool. I'd bring them into all that. Yeah.
When we get room to bring in all my comics, I'm going to bust them out for you.
Here's one for you that I saw probably about 6 months ago. That's up your alley.
Up my alley.
Up your alley, sir. Here's what I need you to do.
Yes.
I need you to find and watch the Battlestar Galactica reboot that was done in like the early 2000s.
Yeah, I
With-
watched like the first season.
Edward James Olmos.
Yeah, loved the first season.
His stipulation, he had an interview. His stipulation when he signed on to that was that it didn't have to completely move into it, but it had to leave room at the end
Yes.
for it to move into the Cylons becoming the replicants
Yes.
in Blade Runner.
I heard that. I
Yeah.
heard that.
I was like, that's crazy. Like, that actually
Because it
fits.
was combining universes.
Yeah. But he was like, that's what I wanted. It's what I told him. They left me a little wiggle room in there, and so I took the part, and I was like, okay.
Almost was awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the whole, like I said, I've seen the first season. I need to go and finish it.
Yeah.
But
that one takes some, you've got to pay attention to everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And they don't explain everything, so you have to kind of come up with your own, like, you know, answers as to what, like, you know, what happened with this character, what happened with that, you know, but.
And on that note, I think we're ready.
I think we're done. 37 minutes in.
Yeah, plus the others. Yeah, that's just for one.